Liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, herzlich willkommen zu Packaging Summit Talks. Vom Packmittel über das Verpackungsdesign bis hin zum Recycling. In unserer Videoreihe sprechen wir mit Expertinnen und Experten entlang der kompletten Wertschöpfungskette einer Verpackung über aktuelle Themen, Regularien und Entwicklung. Alle Videos der Reihe finden Sie auf neuverpackung.de. Schauen Sie doch mal vorbei. The packaging is the recognition feature of every product at the point of sale. Appropriate caution is therefore required when companies change the packaging design of an established brand. Nevertheless, Henkel took the plunge and also redesigned the packaging in the course of relaunching the Schauma brand. Today I talked to André Pastor-Bertin, HCB R&D Packaging Europe, about the aspects that played a role in this and what the development process at Henkel looked like. André prepared a small presentation for you, our viewers. So I would now leave the stage to André, and then we will talk right afterwards. Have fun.
Hello, Philip. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for your kind introduction and for inviting me to talk about one of the most relevant and successful brand relaunches we had at Henkel Beauty Care in the last years. And a proof of what I just said is that I'm here today with you and your audience to share a little bit of our journey to bring it to reality. Remembering all that the new Schauma hit the market in Q1 22. Shortly on the agenda, we will talk about Schauma before relaunch, then we move to motivations we had to change. We will talk about the packaging design brief, the biggest challenges we had during our development and implementation phase, and at last, we show the final results. Well, Schauma is a very traditional brand. It was launched in Germany more than 8 years ago, and it always stood for mainly three things: foam, the iconic drop shape of the bottle, and family bathroom moments. However, looking at how the brand had evolved in the last years, the team agreed that it got a bit far away from these three pillars. Regarding the packaging evolution in the last 15 to 20 years, as you can see on the screen, uh, there was a clear disconnection in terms of graphic designs to what it stand and what it was becoming. In terms of structural design, there was also not much going on, and also time for a potential change. Therefore, the team realized that it was time for a bigger change. It was time to bring these three key pillars back again. But I guess you were asking how we did it, how did all start, how did the packaging team actually contribute to it? And I will tell you. Note that even before starting to discuss the new packaging design brief, we knew we should take the opportunity to improve a few aspects and take some bold directions for this relaunch. First one, working together with our consumer technology insights colleagues, we learned that consumers considered Schauma old-fashioned, and that included its packaging. Second one, we determined that consumer centricity and sustainability would be two of the main packaging development focus for this relaunch. And third one, we wanted to solve once and for all historical technical difficulties we had in our production site. Well, to ensure we would tackle all relevant aspects and fully align on packaging expectation, marketing and packaging teams closely worked together, co-lead the design brief phase using the so-called tandem approach. The common outcome was that the new packaging would have to deliver against the following requirements: new structural and graphic designs for bottle, closure, and label, better shelf impression versus existing, refillability functionality, which was something the old packaging did not have, had standability, and this it mainly considering the in the shower experience, family design for all formats, and this would be for shampoo, both sizes 250 and 400 ml, and conditioner 250 ml. Portfolio would remain colorful. Another requirement would be to use less plastic versus the existing portfolio, and e-commerce readiness, which would also be a new functionality. Well, you can believe me that we, after briefing several agencies, and at the time we decided to combine creative and industrial designers, uh, we have received lots of options from all different agencies with different shapes, different uh, uh, formats, etc. And as I said before, no, we followed this tandem approach. And because of that, I personally attended every single pitch, and I did it not to limit creativity, but to set certain technical factors linked with packaging technology and production capabilities. Also, to set marketing expectations towards potential capex investments and timing. Finally, a common winner design was chosen. However, the journey would still be long till we could develop, test, and implement this winner design. In the screen, I listed a few topics that really made me lose sleep during the development and implementation phase. For example, the asymmetrical bottles. In general, they are more complicated to be produced, to be filled and labeled. Finding the right front angle was quite challenging from our specific packaging. At the same time, the front angle was a key design element for marketing. It was a source of issues for the production side. At the end, we found a win-win solution. Refillability purpose. We designed the packaging in a way that consumers could easily twist and lift the cap, obviously keeping the tightness and safety of it. Labeling area. This is another topic that can quickly share opinions between marketing and production colleagues. At the same time, it affects overall shelf impression, and therefore, marketing would like to have it rather bigger. It can be a source of wrinkles and bubbles, which obviously then our production colleagues would tend to have it rather smaller. Again, we found a common ground for both stakeholders. Printing technology. The new graphic design enabled us to be more sustainable and more price competitive than we were previously. E-commerce. The, the both shampoos and conditioner formats, they are ISTA 6 approved. In terms of color full portfolio, uh, we had to manage to color match all packaging components disregarded from different material structures and PCR content. When it comes to sustainability, we obviously follow the design for recycling rules existing at the time of the relaunch. We successfully switched our extruded polypropylene to polyethylene bottle portfolio, and note that this move allowed us to increase PCR content, which in general, we managed to increase PCR content for all other bottles and closures as well. And finally, we strongly decrease our overall virgin plastic consumption, which we're very proud of. After all, we couldn't be happier with Schauma's new packaging. This is our shampoo packaging, as you probably already saw on the market. Well, wrapping up some of its sustainability benefits to our consumers. We relaunched bottles in two different materials, HDPE and PET, for shampoos and conditioners. Uh, we relaunched with a smaller and lighter cap, a PCR content setup that goes from 50 to 100% in the bottles and 25% in the caps. With the new twist and lift feature designed for refillable purpose, and with the possibility to headstand it in the shower, we enabled our consumers to use up to the very last drop of product. And this means also more sustainability. In terms of design, the finger recess provided an easier opening for our closure. The drop contour allowed us to restore in a more modern way the iconic drop shape. The new labeling panel solved past production issues and even got bigger. And the new graphic design was a key contributor to communication and to restore the two other main brand pillars, which I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, home and family. Thank you very much, and I open for questions.
Andre, Schauma is not a startup, but an established brand, and the packaging is its face at the point of sale. Were there therefore perhaps elements that were excluded from changes in the pre-design from the very beginning?
Great question, Philip. Um, and I would say that there are some angles to consider while answering it, but do not worry, I will come up with a sharp answer at the end. So historical aspects were for sure super important, and if you were relaunching a brand like Xiaoma, obviously you need to think about it. There is a big responsibility behind it. However, there were also other aspects, and I will list other three ones which were also part of this thoroughly assessment we did, which was financial ones, knowing our price point, knowing where we want to win, uh, knowing what we can and we cannot afford. So sustainability aspect as well, because we knew what would be the design for recycling rules that we had to follow. Um, and I would also list consumer centricity aspects, because we study our consumer behaviors. We know Xiaoma consumers. And I think after checking all of these four aspects, we concluded that we should not change the iconic drop shape of the bottle, and that we should not change the snap-on closures.
We have just learned that there were several designs before the final shape of the current Schauma bottle was created. Are most ideas now actually discarded on screen, or are physical prototypes still the measure of all things for the decision-making process?
Yes, most of the design options presented by the agencies were discarded on screen. However, you're right, a proper decision-making process includes having, for the high potential options, physical prototypes, and this is independently of which agency has presented them. We requested for physical prototypes where we would do our final assessment, could check size impression, uh, current versus competition versus all the options that have been shared with us, etc. And we also use it physical prototypes to conduct further consumer tests.
Perhaps to get a little bit personal in conclusion, what aspects of the new packaging are you particularly proud of?
Well, actually, I am proud of everything. But if you allow me to pick two aspects, then I think I can answer this question. So the first one would be the color results. I mean, if you look at the Schauma portfolio, we had an extreme challenging combination of being super colorful, having different types of material with different PCR contents, and all of them they had to match. So it was a lot of work. It was a long color development, but I'm proud to say that we delivered it without marketing having to compromise on what they expected. And the second aspect would be the asymmetrical bottle. Packaging engineers would know what I'm saying. So it is much more complicated to work with asymmetrical bottles. And in our case, it wasn't different. So we conducted several tests in our production site. We had to create new and clever solutions to properly fill, cap, and label our packaging. But I think when I look at the results, I'm convinced that it was all worth it. Thank you very much.
Well, Andre, thank you very much for your time on those interesting insights. Für Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer finden neben diesem noch viele weitere Videos unserer Reihe Packaging Summit Talks auf LinkedIn und neueverpackung.de. Schauen Sie doch mal vorbei.